Please remain standing for the posting of the national colors by the members of the 10th Mountain Division Task Force Thunder Gauntlet, led by Specialist Kyle Bonin. Note that the 10th Mountain Division colors are cased because the headquarters for the 10th Mountain Division is currently deployed to Iraq.
The Jefferson Community College inauguration of Dr. Ty Stone shall now commence.
Please continue standing for the invocation from Jeffrey Smith, pastor of the First Baptist Church in Watertown.
I'd like to say it's an honor and privilege to me to be here today for Dr. Stone's inauguration. And I'd ask you to bow your heads, please. Heavenly Father, we come before you today giving you all the honor, glory, and praise. We thank you for waking us up another day for the installation and inauguration of Dr. Ty Stone. We know that you're in control of all things, and it is you, O Lord, that placed Dr. Stone in this position of president of Jefferson Community College. And we thank you for putting her in the path of our lives. We ask that your hand will be in everything that she does. May the Lord bless you, Dr. Stone, and protect you. May the Lord smile on you, Dr. Stone, and be gracious to you. May the Lord show you his favor, Dr. Stone, and give you his peace. And we pray these things in the Son of God, Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Please remain standing as our national anthem is performed by Sergeant First Class Christine Permenter, a member of the 10th Mountain Division Band.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the Rockies regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh,
Will you please remain standing as members of Jefferson's inaugural faculty and staff choir perform our alma mater, directed by Dr. Lisa Scrivani-Tidd and accompanied by Chris Hyde-Hall. The words can be found on page 14 of your program. Please be seated. Thank you. Welcome to the inauguration ceremony of Jefferson Community College 6th President, Dr. Ty Stone. A very special welcome to President Stone's family and friends who are joining us for this celebration today. My name is Dr. Marie Hess. As a distinguished alumnus of Jefferson Community College in the class of 1974, and as a semi-retired member of the college faculty, I am very pleased to be able to serve as the Masters of Ceremonies for this special event. At this time, I wish to introduce members of the stage party. As you please stand as I introduce them. Teresa Quinton, President of the Jefferson Community College Foundation. Jeffrey Smith, pastor of the First Baptist Church in Watertown. Stephen Todd, District Superintendent of the Jefferson Lewis Board of Cooperative Educational Services. Scott Gray, Chair of the Jefferson County Board of Legislators. Nathan Hunter, Vice Chair of the Jefferson Community College Board of Trustees and a 2001 graduate of the college. Dr. Ty Stone, President of Jefferson Community College. Chancellor of the State University of New York, Dr. Christina Johnson. It is Chancellor Johnson's role to formally install Dr. Stone this afternoon as the 6th president of the college. General Patrick Donahoe, Deputy Commanding General of the 10th Mountain Division Light Infantry and Fort Drum. Joseph Butler Jr., Mayor of the City of Watertown. Sister Juliana Raymond, our college chaplain. Courtney Denton, student member of the college's Board of Trustees. Kimberly Stearns, a graduate of Jefferson Community College in 1988, currently as secretary in the Liberal Arts Division of the college, and is currently the president of the Educational Support Professionals Association. Dr. C.J. Southworth, assistant professor of English at Jefferson Community College. Johanna Duncan Portier, Senior Vice Chancellor, Office of Community College and the Education Pipeline at the State University of New York. Linda Denning, a graduate of Jefferson Community College in 1986, is a professor of accounting and president of the Faculty Association. And members of the Jefferson Community College Board of Trustees, Pamela Bior Murtha, Michael Crowley, Elizabeth Phipps, Judith Gentner, Stephen Haas, David Males, and Lisa Weber. Unable to be with us today is the chair of the Board of Trustees, Terry Freilich. Could we have a round of applause for our stage party, please? We are most pleased to have special guests with us this afternoon. I'd like to recognize members of the Jefferson County Board of Legislators, alumnus Michael Montigelli, and Alan Drake. Jefferson Community College receives funding from the County of Jefferson, and we thank those members of our local legislature for their continued support. Also joining us today are County Administrator Robert Hageman and Deputy County Administrator Sarah Baldwin. Also from the Watertown City Council, I would like to welcome Lisa Lahure de Ruggiero. I am pleased to welcome members of the New York State Assembly, Addie Jenny from District 116, Ken Blankenbush from District 117, as well as Sarah Campo, Chief of Staff for New York State Senator Patty Ritchie. Jefferson Community College enjoys a very positive and collaborative relationship with Fort Drum and the 10th Mountain Division. Members of active duty military stationed at Fort Drum, their families, veterans, make up more than 1/3 of our college's enrollment. In addition to General Donahoe, we are more than pleased to welcome civilian aide to the Army, Secretary of the Army, Mr. F. Anthony Keating, and his wife, Jacqueline. Mrs. Cynthia Pyatt, wife of Commanding General Walter Pyatt, who is currently deployed to Iraq in support of Operation Inherent Resolve. Garrison Commander Colonel Kenneth Dean Harrison, and Deputy to the Garrison Commander, Mr. Eric Wagoner. We also welcome former Jefferson President Dr. Carol McCoy, who is with us today. Dr. McCoy served as the college president from 2007 to 2017. Would you please join me in expressing our appreciation for those special guests joining us this afternoon? The academic community of Central and Northern New York is well representative, with delegates and presidents from 12 colleges and universities joining us today. In addition to the representatives from other colleges, the colorful academic procession that we just witnessed included members of Jefferson's faculty and staff and delegates from the current student body of the college. Also joining us as guests today are members of the college's adjunct faculty, college staff and employees of both the Faculty Student Association and Small Business Development Center. In addition, we have many retired faculty and staff, emeriti, distinguished alumni in attendance today. The college is indebted to the good work of all who contributed to the educational experience here at Jefferson Community College. At this time, I would like to call upon Courtney Denton to offer greetings on behalf of the Jefferson Community College student body. Courtney?
Thank you, Dr. Hess. Good afternoon, friends, families, faculty, staff, and distinguished guests. It is my joy to welcome you to the inauguration of Dr. Ty Stone as the 6th president of Jefferson Community College. My name is Courtney Denton, and I serve as a student representative to the Jefferson Board of Trustees. I feel privileged to be here today and to contribute to this event as a member of our student body. I am equally privileged to have had the past 10 months to work with and be mentored by Dr. Stone, a woman who gives of her time and experience generously, and one I seek to emulate as I go forward in my personal and professional endeavors. Dr. Stone's theme for today's event is honoring the past, challenging the present, and creating the future. As we welcome our college's 6th president, we cannot help but reflect on those who came before and how they have helped build the success we now see at Jefferson. I know that our previous presidents are proud of who we are and equally proud of the direction Dr. Stone is bringing us. These are truly exciting times for Jefferson. Sticking with our theme and using a playful twist on Dr. Stone's name, she has quickly become our rock. She is the cornerstone of our campus and the foundation upon which our future will be forged. Her guidance, compassion, and kindness has already proven to be the strong bedrock from which we look forward to building upon. Our legacy to Jefferson and to Dr. Stone will be our contribution to our society and communities as we graduate and move forward in our lives. We could not ask for a better mentor and role model to assist us in achieving these goals. We feel inspired and grateful to have such a strong educator and influential woman to help us now and guide us in the future. Dr. Stone is our rock, and we look forward to supporting her, learning from her, and being inspired by her example. We, the students of Jefferson, welcome her into our lives and look forward to all of the great things to come. Again, it is with great honor that I welcome Dr. Stone to our college and community, and thank you for being here today and being a part of this event.
Thank you, Courtney. Linda Denning, President of the Faculty Association, brings greetings on behalf of the faculty and staff of the college.
Good afternoon, members of the trustees, students, faculty, staff, alumni, other distinguished guests, and members of the community. My name is Linda Denning, and I'm the Faculty Association President. It is my privilege to represent the Faculty Association of Jefferson Community College in welcoming Dr. Stone as Jefferson's 6th college president. Dr. Stone brings to the campus a wealth of experiences, both from the military and other academic institutions. Moreover, Dr. Stone has made herself available to students, members of the campus, community, alumni, business leaders, and members to gain an understanding of the college and the North Country. Recently, Dr. Stone shared a favorite quote by Nelson Mandela in the Jefferson Insider. It reads, "It always seems impossible until it's done." I believe that quote sums up Dr. Stone's approach to being president at Jefferson Community College and looking to the future. Again, on behalf of the Faculty Association of Jefferson Community College, welcome, Dr. Stone.
Thank you, Linda. Also bringing greetings on behalf of the staff, Kim Stearns, President of the Educational Support Professionals Association.
On behalf of the Jefferson Community College Educational Support Professionals, I would like to offer our official welcome to Dr. Stone as President of Jefferson Community College. It was both an honor and a privilege to be a member of the search committee for Jefferson's sixth president, the search that brought Dr. Stone to us. As I believed just a year ago when our search drew to a close, I believe today that we have found the right person for the job. In her first 6 months as president, Dr. Stone has participated in a variety of campus activities, gotten to know students, staff, and faculty, and became involved in community events and organizations. Dr. Stone has a vision for how this institution and our community can continue to grow and prosper, and she has identified strategic priorities that will advance the mission of Jefferson. Our entire support staff looks forward to working with you for many years to come, and as we create the future of Jefferson Community College. Dr. Stone, we wish you the best and hope you find your time here inspiring and fulfilling. And on a side note, please don't leave us because it's snowing in April.
Thank you, Kim. Now, Teresa Quinton will offer greetings from the President on behalf of the Jefferson Community College Foundation and Alumni Advisory Council.
Thank you, Marie. Good afternoon. On behalf of the JCC Foundation and Alumni Association, I'm pleased to welcome the stage party, dignitaries, members of our boards, our past president, students, faculty, staff, community leaders, distinguished alumni, family, friends, and most important, Dr. Ty Stone, to her inauguration as the sixth president of Jefferson Community College. The mission of the foundation is to work in partnership with the college, community, and alumni to enhance the educational opportunities provided by the college. Through the generous support of our community, we're able to provide scholarships to students and support academic and cultural programs across the college. In the academic year 2016-2017, the foundation awarded 217 scholarships totaling $353,000. Dr. Stone's support of the foundation is evident through the ambitious strategic priorities she has chosen for this academic year. Her focus on students first aligns with our desire to assist with the financial access to attract extraordinary students and support student success. Her commitment to strengthening foundation and alumni alignment instills and nurtures pride, a gift to the institution. Her focus on workforce development demonstrates that the college plays a strong role in local economic development. A presidential scholarship through the foundation was created in her honor for students enrolled in workforce training through the college. In the past, these adult learners haven't had the adequate financial support available to them. During her first 8 months, Dr. Stone has spent valuable time across the campus and throughout our North Country, getting to know students and the college community, the broader community, its leaders, friends of the college, with the goal of strengthening community engagement and partnerships. Dr. Stone has chosen as the theme for her inauguration, honoring the past, challenging the present, and creating the future. This theme exemplifies her time here. Dr. Stone has studied and has tremendous respect for Jefferson's rich history and our impact on the community, and realizes how important it is to build on this for future success. In her ongoing communication with various stakeholders, she seeks to find out what we are doing right and what we can improve, critical to understanding where we have been and where we need to go. She believes in the power of community and values new ideas. It's important that we learn from the past, question the present, and invent the future, a future that is yet to be written. I am certain that the future of Jefferson that we create together with our community will be one of which we can all be proud. Thank you. Welcome back.
Thank you, Teresa. I would now like to introduce Stephen Todd, who will offer comments on behalf of the area school districts. Steve?
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the 18 school districts of the Jefferson, Lewis, Hamilton, Herkimer, Oneida, Bossier region, it is my honor and privilege to congratulate Dr. Stone on her inauguration as president of Jefferson Community College and to celebrate the long, proud tradition of partnership between the college and the school districts of our region. Together, our P-12 institutions and Jefferson Community College provide students with a multitude of pathways to success in life. We work together to make sure that our programs and curricula are integrated, providing students with seamless transitions from secondary to post-secondary education. This level of program integration and seamlessness has been due, in large part, to the constant efforts of our two educational institutions over the years to communicate, collaborate, and share ideas and resources with one another. President Stone's predecessors have been outstanding partners to our school districts, and in the opening months of her presidency, Dr. Stone has worked closely with our area schools to further enhance those partnerships and to explore new opportunities for collaboration and sharing. We in the P-12 educational community of the North Country are excited to partner with President Stone in the realization of her vision to make our educational systems the powerful engines of workforce development and economic development our region so badly needs. We are excited to enhance and expand the pathways from our programs and curricula to Jefferson Community Colleges so students of all ages in our region have all of the opportunities they need to be successful. Again, we congratulate President Stone and we celebrate her vision. We stand ready to continue and expand the wonderful partnerships between our institutions that have served our North Country so well. We offer our best wishes and hopes for a long and fruitful continued partnership. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. General Patrick Donahoe joins us today to bring greetings on behalf of the military community at Fort Drum.
Chancellor Johnson, Dr. Stone, honored guests, on behalf of the 10th Mountain Division and Fort Drum, and on behalf of Major General Walt Pyatt, who's deployed forward with the division headquarters in Baghdad today, he bids congratulations. And, of course, in today's day and age, he was able to do that by text this morning. So I would guess outside the North Country, probably a little odd to have a military uniform in this academic collegiate event such as this. But it goes to signify how intertwined Jefferson Community College and Fort Drum and its soldiers and families are. And so we truly rely upon each other in this great endeavor to educate our soldiers and family members alike. And we choose Jefferson Community College more often than not for that. So from technical training programs for our soldiers who are transitioning out of military service, to classes on post for our soldiers and our family members, to the faculty that actively work to understand and accommodate the unique needs of the military community, more than 30 years, these halls of higher learning have inspired thousands of military members and their families to think bigger, to create harder, and to dream stronger. And Dr. Stone, as an Air Force veteran, you know that personally. So you've dedicated yourself to lifelong learning. You're uniquely qualified to lead this institution that not only educates but also empowers so many affiliated with Fort Drum and our military community. So again, congratulations. Thank you for being willing to take on this great task. And we look forward to creating the future and climbing to glory together.
Thank you, General Donahoe. Mayor Joseph Butler will now bring greetings from the city of Watertown.
I'm a little worried about that tassel. I thought it was going to be an issue, and it was. It is a distinct honor and privilege to join you today as we celebrate a new and exciting chapter in the history of Jefferson Community College with the inauguration of Dr. Ty Stone, Jefferson Community College's 6th president. Dr. Stone, this is an immense responsibility and honor that we have entrusted you with. I trust you are up to the challenge, and I am confident you will continue the fine tradition established by your predecessors and take Jefferson Community College to even greater heights. It has been a pleasure getting to know you, working with you, seeing the values you hold dear and the attributes that will serve you and the Jefferson Community College so well. Today truly is a great day for our city, for our county, and for the college. As many of you may know, Jefferson Community College holds a special place in my heart, as my father was a professor of chemistry here for almost 30 years, eventually retiring in 1995. I know firsthand how important this institution was to my family, and I know firsthand how important Jefferson Community College is to our city and our county and the entire North Country region. I know the passion the teachers have to teach and the passion the students have to learn. And I have every confidence your talents, creativity, leadership, and the mission you pursue to further the legacy you inherit as our newest president will be met with equal passion. Nelson Mandela once said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." I would add, it is the most powerful weapon to change oneself. Jefferson Community College is the heart of transformation in the North Country. It is an integral and vital key to our region's success. And you, Dr. Stone, are the steward entrusted with the responsibility to lead one of our greatest assets and the institution that defines our community in so many ways. Today, I offer you my congratulations, my prayers, I think we all need those from time to time, and my support, and a bottle of decent red wine as well. May God bless you, and may God bless all those responsible for the mission we pursue at Jefferson Community College. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Butler. I would now like to call upon Chairman Scott Gray to offer comments on behalf of the college's sponsor, Jefferson County.
Good afternoon, and on behalf of the Jefferson County Legislature, representing all the Jefferson County residents, let me extend a very warm welcome to Dr. Ty Stone as she officially assumes her presidency of Jefferson Community College. Dr. Stone, you are being entrusted with one of the community's finest assets, and I trust that you will value the faith that we place in you to guide this institution to greater heights. Most importantly, you are being handed the keys to our future, the students seeking higher achievement in life through education and skills training. I am sure that you've heard many refer to Jefferson as the jewel of the North Country. And not only is the institution a jewel, but so are the students that come through these doors, walk these corridors, and learn from our worthy faculty and staff. We as community leaders, we work diligently to make the North Country a better place to work, live, and play. Jefferson fosters all of these. Jefferson prepares our quality workforce of the future, making our area more attractive to employers. Jefferson adds to the quality of life, provides lifelong learning, and is a source of pride for our community. And countless events that occur around the Jefferson campus add to the enjoyment people experience in our community. All of this makes our community a better place to work, live, and play. Dr. Stone, you have our community and its future in your hands. Please cherish that responsibility, guide us to a greater good, and we are proud to call you our community's college president. Congratulations on your presidency.
Thank you, Chairman Gray. I'd now like to call upon Nathan Hunter, Vice Chair of the Jefferson Community College Board of Trustees.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I welcome each and every one of you to this special and historical occasion as we celebrate the inauguration of Dr. Ty Stone as the 6th President of Jefferson Community College. Board Chair Terry Freilich regrets he was unable to be here today and sends his greetings and well wishes to the campus and the community. It was just over a year ago when the campus and the Board of Trustees concluded their search for the college's next leader. We knew whoever was selected would have tough shoes to fill. Jefferson has been so blessed with a history of strong visionary leaders who have steadily advanced the mission of Jefferson Community College. At the time, among the many qualities that stood out about Dr. Stone was her clear passion for student success and her understanding of what it was like to be a college student, finding his or her way in overcoming the many challenges today. Another attribute was Dr. Stone's keen awareness of the importance of community and collaboration on both an individual basis and on the college as a whole. And so, as much as we chose Dr. Stone to be our president, she chose Jefferson Community College in the North Country. Over the last 9 months, she has gotten to know our students, our campus, our faculty and staff, and become an integral part of the community. She has embraced all that is the rural beauty of the North Country, from tapping maple trees to sampling cheese curd, to taking a speedboat ride on the St. Lawrence River, saving the best for last, to even ice fishing. Yes, even ice fishing. I am a proud graduate of Jefferson Community College, and as someone who has experienced firsthand all that Jefferson has to offer, it is easy for me to understand why it is such a valuable asset to the community. It is clear that in a very short period of time, Dr. Stone also understands the college's key role in the growth and development of the North Country. She understands the college as an economic driver in the community. She believes in the value of education and training's ability to transform lives. She believes that education and training can take different forms. She believes in strong community partnerships and collaboration. She believes she is a quiet leader ready to take the challenges facing public institution of higher education. Dr. Stone has identified strategic priorities that will support our mission and continue to move this institution forward. Our theme, honoring the past, challenging the present, and creating the future, a few words that say so much. Dr. Stone will build upon the strong foundation established over the last 50 years. She will find creative and innovative ways to navigate the issues facing today's students, and together with a strong faculty and staff and a community support, she will craft the future of Jefferson Community College. Dr. Stone, thank you for choosing Jefferson Community College, and congratulations on your official installation as the institution's 6th president.
Thank you, Vice Chair Hunter. And finally, I would like to invite the Chancellor of the State University of New York, Dr. Christina Johnson, to offer greetings on behalf of the State University.
Thank you, Dr. Hess. Good afternoon, Dr. Stone, family, trustees, our academic leaders, our government leaders, our industry leaders, faculty, students, staff, and special guests. This is a wonderful day for Jefferson Community College. This is the day when we inaugurate and invest in our new president, and I couldn't be happier to be here today to bring that honor from the State University of New York. The last time I was here, okay, it was the first time I was here, but I was here, was in January, and I got to see the close collaboration between Fort Drum and Jefferson Community College with regard to the program where we take pre-veterans, if you will, individuals that are in the military, and help them get training in order to make a smooth transition to post-military or veteran life, and that was really remarkable. Jefferson is well recognized as a vital member of the Waterton community and as the area's first institution of higher education. And many of the presidents of other SUNY schools are here in the front, so I'm still going to say this. It is the jewel of the North Country. It is a jewel of the North Country and is the only institution of higher education within a 50-mile radius of the city of Watertown. This is very important for our students who live and work in the North Country, offering 40-plus associate degrees and certificates for career preparation or transfer, local access to bachelor's and advanced degrees through workshops and seminars, business and industry training, as well as cultural enrichment, opportunities for the entire Waterton, Fort Drum region. Jefferson Community College is a key education and economic driver for this community and the state. Although I've been at SUNY only a short time, I've seen the diversity of our colleges and the impact they have on the lives of our students and communities, especially our communities' colleges. I also know that for each of SUNY's 64 colleges and universities, there's nothing more important than finding the right leader to build on the success of the past, and I would like to acknowledge the former president, Dr. Carol McCoy, who's here with us today, for your decade of leadership and service. Thank you very much. And today we celebrate that we found that leader in Dr. Ty Stone and to create that new vision for the future. I know the process was highly selective and inclusive with input from the Board of Trustees, elected officials, community leaders, students, faculty, and staff. The Jefferson campus family came together and actively recruited a forward-thinking individual to lead Jefferson into a future defined by opportunity. This is a very exciting day and a new era for Jefferson Community College. The presidential search, as I said, was quite rigorous, so I'd like to acknowledge Jefferson Community College trustee Michael Crowley for his time, dedication, and leadership in chairing this search committee, and the chair of the Jefferson Community College Board of Trustees, Terry Froelich, for his leadership during the search process. Dwight D. Eisenhower arguably had three of the most difficult jobs in America. He was Supreme Allied Commander, President of the United States, and President of a university. I think if he was here today, I'm not sure which one he'd say was harder. So when asked, what does it take to do a hard job well, he said two things: confidence and enthusiasm. From the first moment I met Dr. Stone, her high energy, confidence, and enthusiasm was engaging and evident. She is a seasoned, smart, and experienced educator who has already demonstrated that she is a strong leader for Jefferson. I wondered, though, how Dr. Stone would adapt to life in a more rural country compared to the urban setting in Ohio she came from. Would she be a fish out of water? In fact, Dr. Stone has embraced the North Country, including water sports. And I did hear you've been fishing, and at first I thought it was spelled P-H-I-S-H-I-N-G. No, this was ice fishing. So I actually had my assistant call back your staff today. Really? How big was the fish?
It was big.
All right, so I'm going to tell you the rest of the story. The fish started out to be something like a guppy. By the afternoon, it was 18 inches, and then by today, I understand it's 21 inches, and then you went like this. I tell you, that is one whopping fish story. Anyway, let me just say that I look forward to continuing our work together. And thanks to the Jefferson Community College trustees, faculty, and staff, because I know they will support you going forward, and I'm just pleased and honored to be here to bring great wishes from the chairman of our board and all the SUNY family, and congratulations. Thank you, Dr. Stone.
Thank you, Chancellor Johnson. I will now introduce Assistant Professor of English, Dr. C.J. Southworth, who will read a poem that he has written in honor of Dr. Stone's inauguration.
It's an honor to be here today to share this with you. This poem is called Our Day. 1. Hours ago in the middle of the Pacific, tomorrow was born, and it is sweeping slowly around the world, each moment building a home in time for the people it envelops. When it comes to us, billions of people will have already lived inside of it, and we will stretch our arms or shut out our lights or clock into another night shift or roll over in our sleep, hours before our fellow citizens in the West inherit that moment for themselves. 2. Each day is born in the middle of the ocean, with few, if any, people to witness it. We celebrate its newness in our own time, when the light that pries its way through heavy curtains shines too brightly in our eyes as we greet it with a plea for 9 minutes more from the snooze alarm, or openly as though we have been waiting, coffee in hand, awake since long before the dawn, greeting a sun rising on our town as it sets on another half of the world that it has already visited. We welcome it. This is our day. As it touches us, it is already 17 hours old, has already watched the beginnings and ends of a billion other days and billions more to follow, all inside this window of time, this our day. 3. We are not aware of our moment of conception, something most of us are grateful for. But let me tell you this. Inside that moment, there were hundreds of thousands of options, maybe more, each of them except one, a different not you. Just as plausible, and yet, here you are. A period of incubation and growing which statistically very few survive, and yet, here you are. A childhood full of casualties in bathtubs and on stairways. It's truly amazing that any of us survive. And yet, here you are. We live in a time when so few people talk about miracles. And yet, here you are. 4. I've been told by many logical people not to believe in time travel. But tell me then how tomorrow can already be born and making its way across an ocean while we're still living inside today, inside of an hour that is yet to touch down in California. We don't need to invent a time machine. We live inside one. 5. Beginnings happen all around us, so often, without our even noticing. Beginnings seem easier to track when they start with once upon a time, but then again, isn't that really just looking back? How far away from the start are we before we take notice of when once was? A new day is 17 hours old before we even consider it begun, and we fought some of the worst battles of our lives before we're even born, but we don't recognize a beginning until we've seen some light. And now, here we are. 6. A college is a place of beginnings. It is the home of new goals, of new knowledge, of new lives, taking their first steps away from a past and toward a brighter future. A college is days when math or English may break a person, where so much can depend on an answer that's only as right as the argument supporting it, where so many of the battles we each fight are on paper or in our minds, where many of us fight that voice that tells us, I'll never have what it takes to be a nurse. I'll never be able to make a business float. I'll never be able to write a poem that is worthy of this moment. A new day begins in that second after midnight, not with the dawn. If you wait for the light to know it is a new day, it will have already begun to pass you by. Our day today is a day where we know for sure we can mark a beginning. And it is a beginning that is not birthed in darkness, but here in the light of a history of service, of helping people in the community to become their own beginnings. It is the moment when one candle tips toward the wick of another, ignites the next flame, ensures a light that will continue to shine for many years to come. It is a beginning unlike so many others, a beginning we can witness. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Southworth. Another one of his wonderful poems. I'd now like to introduce two very special and talented young men. Dr. Stone's son, Nelson Stone III, and his friend and classmate, Noah Foskel, will perform Isn't She Lovely? They will be accompanied by student members of the Jefferson's Jazz Ensemble, alumni Carrie DeRigo and John Holmes, community member Alex Horvath, and JCC student Garrett Parks, under the direction of Daniel Mosier. doing okay? Thank you so much, Nelson and Noah, and members of the Jazz Ensemble, for that absolutely wonderful performance. The central purpose of today's gathering is the ceremony of investiture, and I would now like to call again on Chancellor of the State University, Dr. Christina Johnson, who will formally install Dr. Stone as the 6th President of Jefferson Community College.
So now, for the business of the hour, it is my great honor to ask Dr. Stone to join me at the podium. Dr. Stone, you have the most important privilege and responsibility of leading Jefferson Community College, established in 1961, to the fulfillment of its great promise as an institution of higher learning and an integral partner in the region. As Chief Executive Officer, you are assigned all powers, duties, and responsibilities appropriate to the post. We are confident that under your leadership, this institution, pursuing the highest traditions of teaching, scholarship, and public service, will continue its dedication to this region, to the state, the nation, and the world. By virtue of the authority invested in me by the Board of Trustees of the State University of New York, I hereby present to you, friends of the college, the 6th President of Jefferson Community College, Dr. Ty Stone. Yay! Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to invite Dr. Ty A. Stone, the 6th President of Jefferson Community College, to the podium to offer her inaugural address.
I was excited.
Oh, I know,
was excited.
Thank you.
Thank you. Distinguished members of the stage party and guests, faculty, staff, past President Carol McCoy, ladies and gentlemen, and most especially our wonderful students, welcome to Jefferson Community College, the best college in the world. I want to acknowledge the hard work of the numerous inauguration committees and members of this campus who made the events of this week go off without a hitch. Thank you so much for your time, efforts, and commitment to our college. Before I begin my remarks, I want to recognize and have you meet my family, who provide me with so much love and support, which allows me to have this great job. My husband, Nelson, who is a principal in Dayton, Ohio, and has also been a wonderful chauffeur over these past few days, getting people back and forth to the airport. Thank you so much. My daughter, Lauren, who is a third-year student studying biology at Alabama State University. And my son, Nelson III, who will be graduating in about a month from high school. As you've heard, Nelson just played that wonderful musical selection along with his friend Noah, and truly, this was one of the highlights of this event for me. Also, I acknowledge my late son, Stephen, and he is always with me. And I know he is very proud of his mother. I would also like to acknowledge my family and friends who traveled from far and wide, all the way from California, Maryland, Ohio. Thank you for coming. I also want to acknowledge those who could not be here but are watching from afar. I would also like to thank the scores of newfound friends I have gained since my move here last summer. And I would be remiss if I did not directly acknowledge my Aunt Janie, who could not be here with me today, but she is the matriarch of our family. And she's the one that reminds me that my mother is always with me. And my Uncle George, who is my father's brother, and my first example of what higher education can do, who also could not make it here today. It would be customary at an event like this for me to use soaring rhetoric and wax poetic about the realization of individual potential and the state of the human condition, both which are worthy of such discussion. But those who know me will tell you that simply isn't my style. I'm direct and focused. I'd rather work on something than think and talk about working on something. I like action. I like big goals. I like complex challenges. And I love this college. I love the support it provides and the potential that it nurtures in the students we serve. When I undertook the process to apply and interview for the Jefferson presidency, it was a path I'm not sure I had expected, and certainly not one that my mother would have predicted. You see, my mother wanted me to be a doctor, but the kind of doctor she envisioned had hospitals and stethoscopes and x-rays, which would have been dangerous for me to be that, but anyway. If she were still with us, I would have told her that while I didn't get to her ultimate goal of being a physician, I'm still a doctor, nevertheless. In her words, and the star she hung for me as a little girl, the one that put in me the desire to be everything she wanted me to be, were what has propelled me to this point. And what I know is that her words mattered and made me the educator I am today. She and my father were truly the shining example of all that is right with strong parents, those with values and expectations and lots of love. Even though they lacked formal education, and I came from very humble beginnings, they made me believe that there is nothing I cannot do if I work hard and show up each day prepared, present in the moment, but focused on the future. On my journey to Jefferson, I was looking for those details, those meanings that aligned with the star that has guided my life through these years. I wanted to know about this great college and the community that hosts it, supports it, and ensures its future. Not only was I heartened by what I learned, that Watertown embraces this college and its students as their own, but I was moved by the openness and welcoming spirit with which this community wanted to embrace me when I visited. And I felt like I had come home. That hospitality and community spirit is the hallmark of the relationship the North Country and Jefferson Community College has had for decades. Our past is woven together like tight threads. Our present is solid, even when facing elements of uncertainty. And our future will be created together for our students, our economy, and our community. In my goal of honoring the past, I first had to gain some understanding of it. As you would expect, I have spent a considerable amount of time since arriving here last July, getting acquainted with this great community. In my conversations with elected officials, community leaders, business leaders, and all other residents of the North Country, not only did I receive a warm and sincere reception, I also gained a greater appreciation for the value Jefferson brings to our region. For the last 56 years, Jefferson Community College has worked every day to be a key part of the fabric of this community. Our involvement goes well beyond this campus and well beyond the students who fill our classrooms. The Jefferson Community College family is your family. You have supported us decade after decade. You have been our cheerleaders and our champions. You have guided us, and you have held us accountable. And you have entrusted us to educate, prepare, and care for you and your families. You're our neighbors and our friends. You are the core of what we are and the focus of what we do. Jefferson's story is your story and the story of this community. And I am confident that working together, we will shape a future worthy of our children. Our history is what has gotten us to where we are today. And our present and future is what will propel us and this region forward with a highly qualified, well-educated, and finely skilled workforce. In order to continue to deliver the world-class teaching and learning environment we have, we must challenge the present state of what we know. While our focus on student success and community alignment is clear, I am armed with the knowledge that the environment in which we currently operate is shifting the discussion on the value proposition of getting a college education. Both critics and supporters alike are placing even greater expectations and scrutiny on the higher education system, including here at Jefferson. That is why we continue to focus our efforts and resources on making sure that students have a clear pathway into, through, and out of Jefferson with the credential that will lead them not just to a job, but to a career. Students are at the heart of our institution and the core of our mission. We must remain vigilant on proving that education changes lives, because quite frankly, it does. Each day, our faculty, counselors, financial aid officers, librarians, groundkeepers, tutors, and all those in between who comprise the strong network of professionals on this campus work tirelessly to support our students inside and outside the classroom. Our commitment to quality teaching and learning is unmovable because there can be no replacement for sound pedagogy or the bond between the student and the teacher or the system of support networks that ensure academic, career, and personal success. I, for one, firmly believe that education is the pathway to the middle class, and I believe that higher education matters. I don't say that just because I work in higher education, but because the data proves time and again that fact. Look at it like this. During the Great Recession, merely a decade ago, 4 of the 5 jobs lost were those requiring a high school diploma or less. That's 80%. By 2020, to qualify for a living wage job, it is estimated that 70% of Americans need to hold some post-secondary credential. Here in the North Country, we are between 30 and 40%, depending on the county. At best, we have a skills gap of 30%, and at worst, it's about 40%. These data prove that a college education, whether a degree, certificate, or transferring to a 4-year institution, is essential to be productive in today's workforce and competitive in tomorrow's economy. That's why our economy evolves. That's why as our economy evolves and becomes more specialized, more high-tech and high-touch, Jefferson will be working to expand the academic programming in those areas of anticipated job growth and regional need. We will be working with the SUNY system to offer more training programs at Jefferson to ensure our region eliminates the skills gap. And we will be strengthening our K-12 partnerships to ensure a seamless transition for students. We want to engage more students and their families earlier in the educational process to ensure alignment and provide avenues for students to get credentials faster and more economically. A key component to creating the future for this college and this community is to prepare our students for the jobs of today and careers of tomorrow. Working hand in hand with employers, we must continue to be aligned with the needs of the business community to provide our students with a pathway to employment. I have met with many of the North Country's businesses, large, small, and those in between, and I heard a recurring theme in our conversations. You like us and you need us. You need us to craft workforce solutions that allow your company to hire and retain local talent to fill the jobs at your companies and in your offices and on your farms. You need us to be current on industry trends and practices so that new employees come to you with the skills needed to help move your businesses forward. You need us to be agile, adaptive, and creative in finding ways and making ways to help you continuously develop your existing workforce for the realities of the new economy. We have always been aligned with the needs of the local businesses, and we will continue to foster those relationships to ensure that our local economy is healthy and filled with highly skilled employees. To do this, we have been reinforcing our relationships with local employers to better understand their workforce needs and to solidify ways in which Jefferson can support those needs. In addition, we have advocated for the expansion of funding to support individuals of all ages who want to earn workforce credentials and industry certifications. We realize that not every student can allocate the time needed to complete a degree program initially. For those students wishing to gain a skill, enhance their knowledge, and hone their abilities, we are doing all we can to remove the financial barriers that may hold them back so that they can make a better life for themselves and their families. Here at Jefferson Community College, we have much to be proud of and thankful for. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't do the appropriate amount of bragging. And I've been told by a few colleagues it's not bragging if it's true. So some of our exemplars include receiving the Military Times Best Colleges 2018 designation and being ranked as #1 nursing program in the state. Also, our students have told us that what we do well. In fact, 82% of Jefferson graduates secure employment in their fields of study within 6 months of graduating from our college. Of those, more than 90% felt that Jefferson prepared them for their jobs. That's great validation that the work we do is important and it is better for our students. I could read you a full list of all of our awards and honors if you want me to. But we'd be here all day, and I want to bring this address to a close. I can't express in enough words how grateful I am to have the opportunity to lead this wonderful institution, to work with the dedicated faculty and staff who are committed to creating a welcoming environment for students to learn and thrive, to live in a community that has a warm heart and a can-do attitude, and to serve the best students in the world who have the dreams and the capacity for greatness. My mother might not have expected that I would have become a college president. As a matter of fact, I think she'd be shocked. But as an academic doctor, I can see the health of our college, our community, our workforce, and our economy. And what I see is promising, and I am hopeful, excited, eager, and maybe even a bit impatient at times to continue the strong legacy that has been established here at Jefferson Community College. The past that we share is worthy of great celebration. The present we are challenging is important in that it will create the future that we all will build together as we strengthen our community and transform the lives of those we serve. On behalf of my colleagues, our students, my family, thank you for sharing this special day with us.
Thank you, Dr. Stone, for your inspiring words. And thanks for recognizing the nursing department. Well, Jefferson Community College will indeed honor the past, challenge the present, and create the future under your leadership. At this time, I would like to remind everyone that we invite you to join us for a reception honoring President Stone following the close of our program. The gathering will be held in the Commons on the lower level of the Jewel Center. I'd like to extend a note of thanks to the Faculty Student Association and the Faculty Association of Jefferson Community College for their generous support in sponsoring today's reception. On behalf of the faculty and staff and students of Jefferson Community College, we thank you for joining us today and taking part in today's celebration of this campus, our community, and Dr. Stone. Please rise for the benediction, which will be offered by Sister Juliana Raymond, our college chaplain.
When we speak of spring here in our northern New York, we tend to substantiate the claim by some tangible signs. Trees are budding, geese flying north, or the emerging of campus greens. The inauguration being celebrated today is another spring for Jefferson Community College. Dr. Stone, we are enriched by your acceptance of the office of college president. We are made stronger by your commitments to this community and by expanding opportunities for our students. For caring is at the heart of our mission. May the gratitude we express by our words and works be among your blessings. Under God's protection, guidance, and consistent care, may you know our support and friendship as we greet in the quad or meet across the table. Blessings this day and always. Amen.
Please remain standing as the national colors are retired. Following the color guard, Guests are requested to remain standing until the academic procession has retired.